Biden gives game plan away. What a surprise. And Senate bill precursor to amnesty for illegals. Look, this is just an obvious one that this is, because this is what it's worked for them before. So when Reagan was in office, so this would have been the 80s, there was a ton of illegals here. The Democrats have been doing this for a long time. And let's not just say the Democrats, but it's mostly the Democrats and, well, the rhinos, but they're Democrats. But it's worked for them because in the 80s, there was a bunch of illegals here, not because of an open border, but just because of people not doing anything about the border for so long. And so Reagan had given them all amnesty. Do you know what happened because he did that? California, because they were mostly in California, became a blue state. Believe it or not, California used to be a red state. It was when I lived there, but then it changed shortly after that. And that was, yeah, that would have been, oh, maybe it had already changed. No, it was just getting ready to change. I was there in the 80s. So, yeah, so it's been blue ever since then. So that they know this works for them. This is the Democrats' base is not any legal citizen. It's just not. It's not, because they're doing more for illegals than they've ever done for any of their American citizens. Like when I say these people hate America, unfortunately they're supposed representatives and congressmen in the White House. They hate America. They just, because you don't do this to your own country. We're the only country in the world right now that has a leader that does everything for every other country, does everything for Israel, does everything for Ukraine, does everything for illegal citizens, but won't do a damn thing except screw the American people over. During an address at the White House on Tuesday, Biden praised the Senate bill that would expand overall immigration to the United States by codifying his parole pipeline that has freed hundreds and thousands of border crossers into the nation's interior. The bill would also increase legal immigration to the U.S., even as Biden has driven the nation's foreign-born population to nearly 50 million, the largest ever in American history. Biden suggested that the bill, however, is merely a stepping stone to Democrats and the business lobby's ultimate goal, amnesty for almost 11 to 22 million illegal aliens residing in the U.S. It would change the transformation of the United States. So there is a soft coup for those that, I'm just going to keep saying it because this is about forcing the transformation of America from disregarding our Constitution. So for all the nursing unions and nursing and medical associations, that you all supported open borders. So you supported the forcing the socialist dream. You did. And none of you should have, because you're in healthcare, and you should have known you shouldn't overwhelm the healthcare system, because we're all hypocrites in 2020, supporting open borders, but at the same time talking about how people had to stay home. Yeah, you wanted the American people, the actual legal citizens of this country, to stay home, right? Because we already know that a bunch of money's been given to illegal aliens. So this is the business corporate world disregarding our Constitution. They hate it, they hate it, they hate it. They'd rather overthrow it. Those were old men. What do they know? Screw that. These are the most sick, corrupted individuals on the face of the planet. Do I sound extreme? Oh, I damn well am. Because they are only motivated by power and greed. They're sick sons of bitches, okay? I know, that's strong. Too bad. The truth. It's the corporate world that wants to control you. It wants to eliminate the middle class. That's what this is. It's a forcing of the socialist country. And in order to force America to her knees, you have to destroy America. That's what's going on. That's why these bastards supported open borders. Let's be very clear, that's what it's about. And anybody who can't figure that out either doesn't want to because they're too much in their ego and can't break away from the democratic ideology brainwashing, or is just plain stupid. The bill doesn't address everything I wanted, said Joe Biden. For example, we still need to pass documentation for people that are already here. And we're not walking away from true immigration reform, including permanent protections and a pathway to citizenship for young dreamers who came here when they were children and have been good citizens and contributed so much to the country. Biden said Congress ought to pass this bill and get it to my desk immediately. For decades, Democrats and corporate special interests tied to Wall Street have sought to ram an amnesty for millions of illegal aliens through Congress. An amnesty would deplete the cost of labor, by inflating the workforce with millions of newly legalized foreign workers for hire. That's why when the nursing unions and the Nursing Association all support global migration, what they're supporting nurses in America is taking away you are a legal citizen in this country, but they stood with people that's why I said they stood with the corporate world while they sat there and rallied your cause and said, we stand with you, nurses. No, they weren't. They were standing with the CEOs of hospitals, helping them keep you, be your babysitter, act like we're going to do something for you, but all along supported everything that's part of a socialist agenda that will bring in cheap labor for those hospital CEOs. An amnesty would deplete the cost of labor by inflating the workforce with millions of newly legalized foreign workers to the workforce with millions of for hire, lowering wages for Americans working and middle class while cutting costs for businesses, the Congressional Budget Office has previously found. Immigration has exerted downward pressure on the wages of relatively low-skilled workers who are already in the country regardless of their birthplace. Likewise, an amnesty would drive up housing demand, further inflating home prices for working and middle-class Americans who have grappled with sky-high interest rate. In 2013, a study by Michael Bloomberg-funded New American Economy, which promotes amnesty, explained how the importing of tens of millions of immigrants over decades had helped raise housing costs by $3.7 trillion for the next generation of home buyers. But it spun the figure as the creation of a housing wealth. Yeah, so there'll be two classes after they're done forcing in socialism, and those classes will be the World Economic Forum, the elites, and the UN, and then the rest of us that have nothing. That includes all of those associations that stood by and helped these people. That's what stupid people those people are. Because what it is it's wanting, the reason they're sending like the mentally ill, the most dangerous and everything, it's so that, and at the same time they've been defunding the police, is because in socialism you have more crime, you have more no justice. It destroys, socialism destroys countries. That's what its goal is, so that the ultra wealthy can come in and control it. And in this case, instead of another country controlling it, it will be the corporate world controlling it. They already are. So it's using this method to force America into socialism. They're using our taxes to pay illegal aliens. They're giving them free money, free housing in some states, jobs, while they criminalize and do nothing for the citizens of this country. So that's, it's all a globalist dream. So once the country is reduced because there's so many mentally ill and poor, it forces the country into creating a bunch of welfare systems. Because, then you'll hear all the nursing unions and professions saying, we have to help all this mentally ill and all these poor people. It's part of the agenda, because it'll force the government to change and transform us from being a free country to then we live under a bunch of social reforms, welfare systems, where there's two classes, the dirt poor who have nobody, and then the World Economic Forum. Yeah, thank you, all of you experts.